Just entirely too many mistakes in all phases. After going back and looking at it on video, we knew we were going to have to be flawless to go down there to have a chance to get that game into the fourth quarter. We were going to have to play our best football of the year over the last 2 weeks, and in particular last week, and we were unable to do that. Entirely too many mistakes in all phases. You can't put yourself behind that quick against an excellent opponent, and we did. And there were some positives. I thought our entire team fought. They gave great effort all the way through. There was no quit. Traylon Burks, you can look at one play and see it, sum it up with Traylon Burks on interception and watching his effort as he ran and gave great effort diving at the 1 yard line. And that's that's a challenge to all our players to continue to push, to give effort in all phases like that. And we got guys that are, and they're fighting hard. We got an opportunity to get some guys some more reps in the second half. And they did show some improvement, flashes of improvement, but again, we've got to continue to develop these guys. We're going to the month of November with 4 games remaining, 3 of the 4 in front of our home crowd, and our guys were back in here last night and ready to go. To get back at home this week, our focus is just getting this football team better through the month of November. And ready to play Mississippi State this Saturday. Mississippi State comes in as a team that's much better than their record. They've lost their last 4 games, but they got one of the best running attacks in the SEC. They got the league's leading rusher and a quarterback that's extremely mobile. And as I said, one of the top rushing attacks. They're very creative on defense as far as the pressures that they bring. They got 6 offensive starters back, and as again, Hill is an extremely gifted and talented running back, just a junior. He's shifty, he's powerful, and that combination with him and Garrett Schrader, the true freshman quarterback, definitely make that a very, very tough running attack. And defensively, they got 3 returning starters, and their linebacking core is very sound. They're athletic, and we're going to have to just continue to get better. And as I say each week, we got to focus on how we play more than who we play. And this is no different this week. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you for questions. Go ahead, George.
How much has the issues at quarterback affected just everything going on with this team, not being able to get a lot of offense going?
Well, I think, again, it's something we've talked about several times up here, is just the consistency. And, when you look across the landscape of football in general at all levels, there's just the consistency of at the quarterback position. When you have that, then a lot of things line up for you and allow you to have success. When you're not as consistent, there's a lot of things that suffer. There's a lot of people that that you start pressing and just it starts with the quarterbacks and starts with consistency at that position, and not just on this football team, but every football team across the country as you look at.
And who do you project to start this week? How are you going to let that play out during the week? And can we expect to see KJ Jefferson for the first time?
Well, first of all, we're going to win this football game this week, and whoever we feel like is the best opportunity for us to win that game is first and foremost who we're going with. I don't know that right now at this point, but I do know that we all options are on the table, and we would love to have an opportunity to get some more of our younger guys in at times, but we're going to win a football game, and that's our approach.
Chaz, I saw Dorian Gerald tweeted out, plotting my comeback November 19th. Can't come fast enough. How's he doing? And is he talking about coming back to practice and maybe play at the end of the year? Or what? Do you know what that means?
No, he's done for the year, and I do know that I know he's got a follow-up doctor's appointment at some point in late November, and that may be what he's referenced at.
And then could you update us on, I guess, Adcock and Clary and McClellan, I guess, was out, and just anything going on injury-wise?
Yeah, we anticipate Ty Clary being back. He was shoulder. We anticipate him being back. Kirby right now is doubtful. Austin Capps is another one that we'll see if he's back. This kind of day-to-day with him. I met with Colton Jackson just a little bit earlier, and Colton has really struggled with getting healthy and staying healthy, and it just seems like something continues to reoccur. And he and his family have made the decision that he's gonna step away from football, and just you know, he was very upset and frustrated that he can't get healthy and stay healthy, and so I think he's realized that while he will still be a part of us and still be around and helping our younger guys out, he's made the decision to step away.
What would you say about Nick's confidence level right now? What's the difference between Nick Starkel against Colorado State and then the Nick Starkel the last couple starts he's had?
Well, I definitely think that you could see that there is some confidence issues. I think that, you know, but it's just, you know, there's a lot of factors that come into play. I mean, you know, he obviously played against a really good defensive secondary last week, and we knew that. But I do think that just our offensive struggles, our inability to get things going, turning the ball over is definitely, you know, I think it is something you're going to have to work through. And at that position, you've got to continue to work through those tough times, and that's kind of where we're at with it.
With Colton, you know, I think we talked last week about how tough that had been for him and you guys, and now with him, did this decision surprise you, and can you see where he's coming from, and just how tough is that when you lose a guy you're expecting to be an anchor on your line for you?
Well, it's really tough. You know, it's understandable. He and I we've been talking for a few weeks now. I know he's been talking with Coach Fry and his family, and just the frustration aspect of him not being able to get healthy and stay healthy. If it was his back or if it was foot, it was always, you know, there was something that kept reoccurring. And last week he shared a little bit with me that he was spending a lot of time talking to his family about what's next for him, and you know, because it was going to be probably another, you know, if we could get him back healthy, it would probably be another week or so before he get back in. And so he came in today, and we had that discussion. He and his family had spoken. So, you know, I know he was very disappointed and very upset that he was unable to finish.
Chad, the way the Mississippi State game went down last year, I would have to think that that the motivation levels for your team. Could you talk about just how motivated you might be to make up for last year?
Well, an opportunity, first of all, to come back home. I mean, we knew the two opponents we were just fixing to play, or just played, and to continue to focus on getting better. But to come back home and play in front of our home crowd Saturday afternoon, that motivating enough. And then, you know, you look at Mississippi State, and we traveled down there last year and didn't go like we planned, and everybody in this building knows what happened, and so I think these guys are going to be motivated to get back in here just to continue to get better and continue to build.
There's been a lot of concussion type injuries, head injuries and stuff with offensive line this year. Is there anything that you can pinpoint to that, or is it maybe the technology you're using that's maybe recognizing it better, or anything that you can point to?
You know, we constantly put our training staff in charge of doing studies and figure out, you know, where do we occurring, where are the concussions occurring? Are they in games or in practice? If they're in practice, what part of practice? So we're on that, and our medical staff does a tremendous job of supplying the information. And you know, we've had quite a few that have occurred during the course of a game, and more than I can remember. And so, but you know, we just, once that happens, and we immediately go into the protocol and start that process. And so, but you know, we're definitely on top of it and analyzing a lot of things on it.
Coach, with not knowing, you know, who gives you the best chance to win this week, how do you go about deciding how to split reps in practice?
Yeah, no, I think that we'll continue to do, and you know, we'll have a general idea of how we're going to do the reps in practice, similar to kind of what we did a little bit last week, and you know, with Ben being back healthy, you know, he'll get some reps in there as well.
Just with John Stevens' second half, just, you know, does that increase his reps this week? And just kind of where does he stand in the pecking order?
Well, I thought he did some really good things. I thought it opened up a new dimension to our run game in the zone read, something that we want to continue to build on. And yeah, I think that he gave us a spark and did some good things for us, and made some really good reads. Matter of fact, every one of his reads were right on. So I was very proud to see him and the success he had. And again, we've got to put together a plan that's going to benefit this football team and moving forward.
But schematically, when he makes those right reads, it looked like, what does it do for you when he makes the right read? Because those 4 plays in a row in the first half were all nice gainers. So what does that mean to you when he's doing the right reads?
Well, it's just it's the dimension of his ability to run the football. Very similar to what you know, Mississippi State does with Garrett. I mean, he's a big part of their run game, and it's a lot of the zone read game. And you know, when the end does, if you're reading an end, the end boxes and he gives the ball underneath, it takes the extra hat out of there because he's accounting for the quarterback. The end squeezes and he pulls it, then you get your quarterback up on a safety or out in the flats. So I think there's just different dynamics. There's different RPOs that you would go with a quarterback read. There were several the other night that John Stephen had an opportunity to throw the ball out in the flats or run it, and he threw the ball out in the flats on a couple occasions. And so I thought he did a really good job. I really did. I thought he was the moment wasn't too big for him. I thought he was very scrappy and tough, and he just gave everybody gave our offense a lift. I thought we had a great plan all week long. We came out moving the football, and but again, when you put yourself in the situations that we did and making the mistakes we did, it's hard to overcome.
Ben's shoulder, I mean, is it healthy enough now to where if you decide he's the best option, he could start, or how's his shoulder?
Yeah, I mean, if we believe he's back, you know, he got better as the week went, and would have been ready to play Saturday if we needed him in a kind of a last chance situation for him. But you know, I anticipate him being fully healthy this week and ready to go if that's what's called on him.
I know these depth charts get done early, but, you know, Colton's still on here. Who
Yeah.
slides in at left tackle with Myron on there? Colton?
Yeah, you know, we'll you know, we've worked Shane over there. You know, it's kind of a rotation. Brady Latham's worked in there. You know, Brady got some playing time the other day. Brady's also worked some left guard, and so that's just that's kind of where we're at with it.
Whether it's been Ben or Nick at quarterback, it seems like y'all have had a lot of passes knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Do you know what the cause of that is, or if there's something that's going on there?
I mean, you know, as far as I know, especially after watching Saturday's game, I mean, I thought they did a great job when they didn't feel like they could get a rush on us, or they did, and we were going to get the ball out quick, that they were just going to stop, redirect, and get up and try to bat a ball down. And, you know, I try to get in our passing lanes. That's kind of what's happened there.
Coach, I don't think Marcus Miller got in the game on Saturday. Is he healthy?
No, Marcus is out. Marcus had knee surgery on Friday, and so he'll be out for the rest of the year.
Chad, you obviously had a couple of real close calls against A&M and Kentucky, and then played really good teams, obviously, these last 2 games of 41-point losses. Do you see that as like a step back, or what does that do to a team's confidence when they've been right there to win, and then they get blown out? You know,
Well,
really good teams, obviously.
yeah, and you know, something that we've talked about as a football team that, you know, is we went into last week, we knew that they've been the measuring stick for college football for many years, and we were going to get an opportunity to measure where we are. And, you know, to play the top team in the country on the road, on national television, I mean, you get up to play that game without a doubt. And you know, it's about how we play. And I would have loved to seen the fact of us not turning the football over and making the mistakes we made, to see just how well we could have played and what it would have felt like after that. And so, but you know, as you move forward, you talk about breaking this thing down into the season of November now. and a November to remember, an opportunity for these guys that there's still a lot ahead of them. As I mentioned last night, we got 4 games remaining, and 3 or 4 in front of our home crowd. And we'll go 2. We'll take an open week, and we'll come back and finish up the 2. So I think there's a lot to play for. These seniors can still leave their mark on this program and their legacy on this program, and change the entire dynamics of this program in the month of November. And so that's, to me, that's motivating enough. And our guys will be ready to go with that. Like I said, there is no quit in these guys. And if there was, we'd have saw it in the second half Saturday. And as I shared with them last night in our team meeting, I was extremely proud of their effort and their fight. And but it's now about moving on and getting ready for Mississippi State.
You mentioned Hill and Schrader specifically standing out, but what do they do? What is their scheme on offense? What are they trying to get done there?
Well, he's very much an RPO guy. You know, Joe is Coach Moorhead has been one of the brilliant offensive minds in college football, and being very creative in how he does things. A lot is very similar to some of the things that we do. You know, opportunity to get the ball out in the flats, or maybe it's a quarterback counter off of it. It just depends on how you load the box or unload the box from a defensive standpoint. Some of it is just a true power read, zone read, where you're reading the end. And the quarterback have an opportunity to hand it, get it on the edge, or if the end boxes, take it and go up the middle. And so there's there's always, it's not just one dimensional. There's always two dimensions to it, 2 and 3, and but they do a good job of even falling into some of their quarterback run games late when maybe the bubble screen on the edge is not there.
I think this is homecoming, if I'm correct. So how important is it for you to play well and get a win with a lot of the alumni coming in for this game?
Well, each and every week is important to play well and get a win, and that's what we go after every week. And so this week is no different than that. This week is an opportunity to come back home, entering the month of November with an opportunity to change the dynamics of this program 1 week at a time, and just us focusing on getting better. And that is truly our concern, and our focus right now is getting this football team better for Mississippi State for this Saturday.
Chad, I might have missed, when you talked about injuries earlier, did you mention McClelly and what his deal was and what his...
Yeah, no, he should be back and ready to go. We just made a decision, just make a change right there.
Okay, so he went.
No, nothing.
Any more questions for Coach Morris?
Right.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.